Every week, the popular television news program 60 Minutes opens to the familiar sight and sound of a ticking clock. Well, that kind of imagery, unfortunately, sums up the situation we as Pan Amers find ourselves confronted with today. For all of us at Pan Am, the clock is ticking. With each passing day, we edge closer and closer toward a collision that none of us wants or needs. It is against this kind of urgent backdrop that I decided to prepare this special video message and have it sent directly to your home. This is the first time we have ever communicated with you in this manner, but the stakes are so high that I wanted to talk directly with you and your family. Make no mistake about what's at stake here. We're talking about our collective futures, yours, mine, and Pan Am's. For more than 6 months now, we've been involved in contract negotiations with your union, the Airline Pilots Association. Regrettably, I must report to you that these discussions are going nowhere. Since we began talking last spring, we've made precious little progress. The Pan Am MEC has just met here in New York. I had hoped that that meeting would turn out to be a catalyst for some desperately needed progress. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. From the very outset of our talks, we have stressed the need to reduce Pan Am's labor cost structure to a point that will make Pan Am competitive, provide a 6% net profit on an annual basis, and thereby allow us to grow. Your labor leaders have acknowledged this critical need to reduce our labor cost. We have presented your elected representatives with a comprehensive proposal which would achieve the cost reductions that are necessary from Pan Am's airmen. Because I wanted you to know what we have proposed to your union, a few weeks ago I sent each of you a copy of our proposal. If for some reason you have not received your copy, please let me know. Job security is the overriding concern of Pan Am employees, and the comprehensive proposal we have presented to your representatives includes very specific job security language for you and your fellow airmen. Those of you that know me know that it is not my nature to beat around the bush or to mince words, and you also know that I've been involved with labor negotiations in one way or another for several years now. I honestly wished that it wasn't necessary to have to negotiate a contract which includes labor cost reductions. No one, and most of all me, likes this kind of bargaining posture. But at the same time, I realize that we have no alternative if we want to be competitive and stay in business. I've said repeatedly that this company's future depends on our own ability to reduce our cost. That was the case 6 months ago, and that's still the case today. There's no magical white knight out there waiting to swoop down and save the day for Pan Am. Anyone who thinks otherwise is living in a dream world. If there's no white knight, then what about Pan Am's chances as a merger or an acquisition candidate? The hard truth is that Pan Am, as we exist today, with our high cost structure, is not a very attractive bride. And we've had a few prospective suitors come calling. Consider the case of American Airlines. They took an exhaustive look and said no thanks. And others who have professed an interest in Pan Am have walked away with the same conclusion. The message should be clear to all of us. There is no quick fix. There's no easy road to profitability. Either we shape up ourselves or the marketplace will do it for us. This is a critical year for Pan Am, and it's important to recognize that we are making progress in those areas within our control, such as our 1987 business plan. In spite of what some people would have you believe, we have a plan, and that plan is working. During the first 6 months of the year, we operated ahead of the projections that were built into the plan. During the second quarter, the corporation posted a $10 million profit, demonstrating a dramatic turnaround from just a year ago. This is not speculation or rumor. This is fact. But without a reduction in labor cost, this year's plan is really a blueprint for breaking even. And as we plan for 1988 and beyond, and we are, breaking even simply isn't good enough. So it all comes back to the question of contract negotiations between the company and your union and the other unions on the Pan Am property. I've said it before, but let me say it again. We want negotiated settlements. We need negotiated settlements. And the sooner we get them, the more secure all our jobs will be. Unless we can mutually agree on a negotiated settlement, we are headed for an inevitable collision. I don't want that. Pan Am doesn't want that. And I don't think that you and your family want that either. Everyone, and I mean everyone, loses with that scenario. We intend to keep you informed as to the progress and the specifics of the negotiations. As pilots, we're trained to lead and accomplish our mission by being thoroughly informed and educated about the task at hand. I'm confident that once the information and knowledge is available, you'll understand why we must achieve a negotiated settlement with the Airline Pilots Association without time-consuming rituals. With each passing day, the task before us becomes more and more difficult. Time is not our ally. For most of us, Pan Am has been our life insofar as work is concerned. I care deeply about this company, and I know that you share that commitment. This company's greatest strength has always been its people. For 60 years now, we've talked about Pan Am pride. We've lived it. We've been it. So today, 6 decades after Juan Trippe started this fascinating company, it once again comes down to Pan Am and its people. Now, while doubters and naysayers abound, I am convinced, totally convinced, that Pan Am still has a future. But that future is by no means guaranteed. We have a future if we want one. Our destiny is ours to control. It's up to us, no one else. But we've got to act, and we've got to act quickly. We need a negotiated settlement with your union, and we need it now, because that clock is ticking. Time is running out. Think about it, and think about the alternatives. When you do that, I think you'll agree that it's time to get on with the business of Pan Am's future. Thanks for listening to me.